irgendwie logisch. Okay, ich mache Musik kurz aus und dann reagieren wir kurz auf das Auto. Bin sehr gespannt. Ich stelle mich nochmal ein bisschen leiser. So auf 3 und dann Abfahrt.
Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You are very welcome to the official launch of the Mercedes-AMG F1 W12E performance car. The machine in question.
Ja, bla bla bla. Stell das Auto vor, Mann.
Corner there. You will be the first to see it very shortly. But in the meantime, let's have a conversation with Toto Wolff ahead of the 2021 season. Here he comes, looking very well. How do we find you after the winter break? Refreshed?
Yeah, the break wasn't really long between the last race and the first is only 12.
How long did you actually have off? Did you even have a break?
Yeah, I had off around Christmas and the New Year, and that was really nice. I spent it with my wife Susie and my children, and really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Well, as I said, you're looking well, but we're about to head into a new season. You'll be taking 7 titles on the bounce with you. That sounds like a team that has the experience.
Ich gehe gimme.
Yeah, but we haven't even started the season yet. So
You hate looking forward, don't you?
yeah, because this crystal ball doesn't work. You know, I keep looking in it, and it never predicts me the future. So you can't rest on your laurels. The last few years were tremendous, and we are very proud about that. But it all starts with 0 points for everybody, equal opportunities.
Ach, Junge, halt's Maul, Digga, du wirst eh wieder Weltmeister bei 500 Punkten Vorsprung.
Every single day and not look too far
Aber
ahead.
doch nicht die gleiche Scheiße. Am Ende labert er noch was von wegen Red Bull wäre Favorit,
All the success
Alter.
you've had. My expectations for Mercedes, they're up there as we head into this new season.
Yeah, I kind of get that, but within the team, all of us together with the drivers, we never have these expectations because there is always some kind of skepticism whether we've done a good enough job over the winter. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but as a matter of fact, we all
Da bin ich ab Homeschooling.
that way.
Homeschooling.
Know that if we don't
Tobias, moin.
push ourselves every single
Mach
day, we might
Hey,
fall
so
back.
moin.
And this is the sheer thought is scary.
Well, the car you've put together, it's a thing of beauty. You're going to see it very, very shortly. I noticed the silver is making a partial...
Und ich weiß schon, wie es aussieht. Beste Leben. Wahrscheinlich haben sie irgendwie nur was gelegt, was irgendwie gar nicht sein sollte.
It's a beautiful looking car. You happy with it?
Yes, I'm happy with it. Obviously, the black livery that we had last year became an iconic livery, and we are very proud about the message of this livery and also how it looked. And this year, it's very similar as we will show, but there is the silver keeps sneaking back in, and at the end of the day, it's a silver arrow. That is our heritage, and we are proud of carrying that.
Valtteri and Lewis are your drivers once again this season. You're one of only 3 teams to retain both the same drivers. What are the advantages of that?
Stability is key in every team, and we work as a group collectively. We have 2 drivers that respect each other whilst racing each other hard out there. The development and the inputs that we get from both of them are very valuable for the team. And at the end,
Das sieht ganz normal aus. Also.
it just works.
Alpine werde ich ein Video machen. Alpine kommt morgen ein Video, morgen früh irgendwann. Opa der Geist kann nicht mehr labern. Mein Opa hat heute Geburtstag und da fahren wir nachher hin und dann möchte ich ungern so einen Stress machen und noch schnell streamen. Ich will einfach so ein bisschen entspannt machen. Deswegen wird es nachher kein Stream geben. Aber dafür morgen ein Video.
Is that a problem for another day? Are you looking ahead? What are your thoughts?
I thought you're not asking the difficult question, but this is smooth sailing and presenting the car.
I'm evil, aren't I?
Yeah. So we need to. It's very simple.
Imagine, sie haben uns verarscht und es kommt irgendwie so ein anderer Politiker.
On our contract negotiations, and it's actually quite funny because him and me, we were so aligned. Whilst we were in the season, we just didn't have scope to talk to each other and spend enough time with each other to have that conversation. And then we thought about doing it between the 2 Bahrain races, and then he fell ill.
Yeah.
And then we both went into our holidays, and we talked through the holidays, and then I had COVID. So that is what it all delayed, and at a certain stage, because our conversations are really
Ja, vielen Dank für 80 Zuschauer. Vielen Dank. Grüße an alle, die hier mit von der Partie sind.
Now we got to close this conversation. The season is right in front of us.
Yep.
And we've been talking a lot about the future, about Lewis driving the car in the future, but also our partnership going forward.
Wann streamst du morgen? Morgen stream ich, warte, der Aston Martin kommt ja morgen um 9, ne? Fange ich so gegen 8:30, denke ich mal, an.
Situation that for the last few years it was 1-year contracts. He functions really well with the pressure. He's the cool Finn that is able to hold that back. But 2022 is a completely new year with new regulations, and that's why we would just want to see how it pans out during the course of the year. But I must say I'm really happy, and the teams of engineers are really happy, and he deserves to be in a Mercedes.
You mentioned you had coronavirus. Everything okay? You get through it all right?
Yes, we were lucky enough to have no or mild symptoms.
Good.
And there's still some after symptoms. You know, you can't really train like you've done before. But it's all
Warte, seit wann hatte Toto Wolff Corona? Bin ich hinterm Mond oder warum habe ich das nicht mitbekommen? Lul.
Good. I'm glad you're okay. Back to business. 23 races this season. How big a challenge will that be for the entire team, to maintain performance across such a dauntingly long year?
Especially the race team. So we here in the factory in Brixworth and in Brackley, it's stressful all year. But it gets a little bit more of a quiet period during the spring. And having said that, they are also flat out. If you look up in the offices, everybody is knackered from the work. But the traveling itself with the jet lag is not trivial. You know that.
Yeah.
And imagine the drivers. So they're having all these factors to count in, and then they need to drive a car at the limit. The mechanics that have to be there 5 or 6 days prior to the race, build up the garage. And then stay longer in order to take the garage down, whilst having the tough job to, fiddling with small things that could cause a DNF for all of us. And they've performed under pressure, race after race.
Formel 1, wird da irgendwas gezeigt? 57.000 Live-Zuschauer.
Our race debrief is usually on the Monday up.
Junge. Oh mein Gott, zeig bitte einfach das Auto.
Yeah.
No, but we are privileged. We have the best job in the world. We are involved in developing, producing, racing, engineering Formula One cars. I mean, every time you're feeling a bit down or difficult day, you just have to remind yourself.
Fantastic, great talking to you. We will hear more from you a little bit later on. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Robert, moin.
To the W12.
Jetzt geht's los, Mann. Komm, rein da! Rein da!
Nichts mehr riskieren. Ankommen.
Jetzt schon, mit Abstand, jetzt schon der geilste Trailer. Geil, Mann. Sieht sehr geil aus. Sieht sehr geil aus. Geil, Mann.
Get in there, Lewis.
Here goes on the inside.
And there it is,
Stark.
a thing of beauty, I'm sure
Stark.
you'll agree.
Stark gemacht.
Joining us now, the two men who will drive the W12, Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Gentlemen,
aus.
fabulous to see you. Really, really good to see you. Valtteri, how are you? How was your winter break?
Very good, thank you. Break was good, fully recharged.
Hat kein Bart. Hat kein Vollbart.
Have a solid training program and been working on
Aber auch die
myself, trying
Teamclothes sehen sehr
be the
sick
best I
aus.
can this year, and yeah.
Boah, dieses Blaue sieht einfach übel
now
aus,
seeing
ne?
the car, just now.
Wenn noch ein bisschen mehr Blau ist, wird so fühlen, ne? Aber es sieht trotzdem sehr geil aus, dieses
you're absolutely in peak condition.
Sick, man.
Keeping an eye on social
Sick,
media, every time I see you, you seem to be on a bike. I feel like you've done a lot of mileage.
Sometimes
das ist jetzt schon mein Lieblingspart vom Auto.
Rally car, you know, this kind of
geil
things.
Aus, Digga. So geil aus.
No, I'm not at the peak yet. The thing is, we're not racing yet. And you know, in terms of physical point of view, F1 is quite different to many other sports. We have 23 races, and you kind of try to micro peak to each of those.
What lessons did you learn in 2020 that you're bringing to 2021?
A lot of lessons. It's so much things in this sport that you learn about yourself.
Spiegel haben eine andere Aufhängung.
The opportunity is to be better driver each year if you take those on board.
Okay, neue Kühlung.
I think the main thing of the winter
and können wir gleich noch abchecken im
Technik-Talk and learning of things has been the self-honesty. So trying to really look into the details
Etikett vom Auto.
How I can be better. And that's ultimately the goal when I'm on the grid in
Bahrain,
to know that I've done everything I can.
Das hier müsste auch neu sein.
Sieht
komplett anders aus.
Physical and my mental best. And same thing, overall target is then to get to the end of the year in Abu Dhabi and look back and say I did everything. Gave it all I had, and hopefully that will bring the results.
This will be your fifth season with Mercedes, and I swear, from the moment you've stepped into the cockpit in 2017, the wolves have been circling that. Are you ready to fend them off for another year?
Of course I am. You know, it's now my fifth year with the team, and actually, quite a few in Formula 1 already. So I have full focus on my own targets and the targets for us as a team and the people around me. So that's going to be the only thing on my mind.
Fantastic. Best of luck, Valtteri. Moving on to Mr. Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion. How are you feeling?
Good. Just happy to be back and back in the factory and just ready to go, really. It's kind of, it always feels like a long break, even though they get shorter and shorter each year. But just excited for people to see the car, excited to see what it feels like when we finally get out in it.
Just, you know, the accolades, as I said, you know, a 7-time world champion, and you know, Sir Lewis Hamilton, and I keep thinking back to that little kid on Blue Peter with the...
Nochmal Frage an alle, an den Chat. Warum wurde er nochmal zum Ritter geschlagen?
You know what I mean?
Weil er 7-mal Weltmeister geworden ist, weil das so eine krasse Leistung ist?
Of course, definitely, and I think I was just talking to Toto, it's really about opportunity, and I was very, very fortunate when I was younger to have those experiences on BBC and really just my dad worked so hard, my family worked so hard to create an opportunity and a path for me to be able to excel. And so it's crazy to think that it's been so long. You know, I've been racing for a long time. This is I think my 15th year in Formula 1. So it's hard to believe it's gone that fast. But so many amazing experiences, so many great relationships, so many things learned during that time. So I'm excited to kind of put everything that has been built each year and put it into the focus.
This is your 9th season with Mercedes, which means you've been kicking ass with them for almost a decade now. How do you feel about
that? Extremely proud. I think, you know, AMG was supporting me as well as Mercedes back when I was 13. And you know, it's amazing to have come along this whole journey with them. And, you know, each year when we have the success, that car goes on to the road of evolution back in Stuttgart. And
könnte halt sein, dass die da
I'll always, you know, even beyond my time, that I'll always be a part of their road of history. So very proud of it and grateful for their you know, their belief in me all this time.
Let's get out of the way, because you're going to be asked it 1 million times over the course of the season. Why did you only sign with Mercedes for a year?
Well, I mean, firstly, I'm kind of in a fortunate position where I've achieved most of the stuff that I've wanted to achieve up until this point, and so there's no real need necessarily to plan too far ahead in the future. I think we're living in quite an unusual period of time in life, and I just wanted 1 year as a. Then we can talk about if we do more and keep adding it one if we have to.
So is that quite low down the priority list? I'm assuming your main focus for 2021 is to win an 8th title.
The main priority for 2021 In the past, it was about just winning championships, but now it's really pushing for make real. Last year there was a lot of discussion about equality and inclusion, and I think there was a lot of talk. This year it's all about pushing for diversity and really making sure that action is taken. So that's kind of at the core of the drive for me. But of course,
also prinzipiell, ich kann Hamilton jetzt nichts, also es ist nichts Verwerfliches an dem, was er gerade erzählt. Es ist eigentlich schon gut, dass er sich für diese ganzen Menschenrechtssache einsetzt, aber Junge, ihm geht's doch nur um den 8. Titel.
What's it like being this man's teammate? Because he's an inspirational chap, but he's also, as a teammate, an absolute nightmare.
It's motivating, it's challenging for sure, and yeah, of course.
Digga, wir gehen scheiß Rente, Mann, du hast da nichts verdient. Mann.
The racing helmet on, then it's time to race against each other, and we hate losing.
Englischprüfung, wild.
And naturally, when you're in the car, every time you try to beat everyone, including your teammates, because you're in the same car, and it's a good benchmark. But everything what Lewis has achieved in Formula 1, now the best benchmark you can really get, and it motivates me. Of course, I'm more always focused on myself, because I feel like it's important to prioritize where you put your energy. So I really try to work in terms of my performance, how I can be better, basically. That's that topic on my head every single day. But yeah, it's an extra motivation. But yeah, so far it's been really good.
Mann, gehen scheiß Rente.
Able to, with the teamwork we do, to really push to get a team forward. And
der wird eh nichts reißen.
Because we know that if we want to keep winning titles, we need to team up and work together as well.
Would I be right in saying that Valtteri is probably up there, the top of the stack, your favourite teammate you've ever had?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the working relationship has been pretty special over these years, and I think it's down to, we've always talked about the respect, but every year Valtteri's turning away and pulling out lap times and performances that are very, very hard to beat. And so it keeps me on my toes, that's for sure.
Digga, will der mich verarschen, Alter? Will er mich verarschen? Och, man.
Season, and as a fan, I'm very excited to see what Vettel can do at Aston, what Mick Schumacher can do with Haas, what Carlos can do with Ferrari. Are you boys excited by that, or could you not care less?
Me personally, I get excited by that. I grew up watching Formula 1, so I'm at the core a fan of the sport, and seeing that things maneuver, things change over the years, stay the same in terms of the driver lineup. But also, it's the first year that we've had the car. It's the same car as the previous years. The first time I think that's happened in the sport. I don't know if the fans know, but we've had there's this downforce adjustment that's been made for this year, which does mean that the car won't be as fast, at least at the get-go.
But we'll get closer racing?
Sorry?
We'll get closer racing?
Who knows? I don't know really why they've done that except for bringing the cars closer. Then we've got tyres that aren't as fast as the previous years, so there's a few...
You're really getting us excited about this new season, Lewis.
Well, it just adds a new element into the mix. The tyres, we don't know how these are going to perform, what the limitations are. And then, looking at the other teams, you've got a stronger setting, I think you'll see probably at the Red Bull. Again, got a really great fresh setting. And then you've got Sebastian taking over all his great experience and expertise, and they are ramping up. They've had they nearly won in Turkey last year. So I'm excited too.
Lewis is excited by what's going to happen elsewhere on the other teams. What about yourself, Valtteri? Are you in the I couldn't care less camp?
Yeah, probably. Couldn't care less.
To whom it may concern, I don't care.
No, I mean, of course, it's kind of nice to see what different teams are doing, what kind of cars they're bringing for this season, and of course you can't avoid seeing how other, new teammate pairs.
Ja, der Mercedes ist wieder black. Das ist der neue Mercedes, der hier. Das ist der neue Mercedes, der gezeigt wurde.
Yeah, I try to focus on my energy really
Gaming,
for the performance and my things and people around
Eddie
me.
Geller.
Big picture stuff though. Who do you think are Mercedes' biggest threat this year? You got to say that Red Bull were frighteningly quick in Abu Dhabi.
My feeling, at the beginning of the year, could be Red Bull if I had to guess now. But obviously, like Toto doesn't have a crystal ball that works, I don't also have it. So, but it could be surprises. You just never know. There's lots of new drivers, and McLaren with the Mercedes power unit, Ferrari after tricky last year. We'll see.
Back to the car, Lewis. Does it ever get old seeing the car you're going to be racing in at the start of the season? Essentially, are you boys on Christmas Day right now?
It definitely doesn't get old. I mean, it's fascinating to see technology evolve. As I said, it is the same foundations of last year's car, but they've obviously got new components around it. But there's only two of us that get to drive this car, all year long. This is going to be our home. This is going to be with us, connected to us on this crazy journey that we have no idea what's up ahead of us. And
also, wäre Mercedes nicht so dominant, würde ich echt sagen, dass die beste Formel 1 Saison, die so auf uns zukommt. Aber Mercedes wird wieder dominant sein, also wird es gar keinen Bock mehr machen. Ich hoffe, Red Bull kann so aufschließen, ne? Wenn Red Bull auf Mercedes aufschließen kann, die einigermaßen konkurrenzfähig sein können und so jedes zweite Rennen um den Sieg mitkämpfen, muss ja nicht immer Red Bull der Sieger heißen, aber zumindest mitkämpfen, dass man halt so ein Duell auf Augenhöhe hat. Ey, da wird so eine geile Formel 1 Saison, ne? Weil das Mittelfeld mit Alpine, McLaren, Aston Martin, Ferrari wird sowieso eng.
Best of luck with the season.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Das war's.
So, that's what the drivers think. But how much of a role will this new machine and the rule changes play this year? I know a man who can tell us, the ever-eloquent Mr. James Allison. James, great to see you. Loving your work. Introduce us to this beast. What do we need to know?
Well, you'll know if you look, it doesn't take much more than a glance to see that it is an old friend in many ways.
Yeah.
Same monocoque as last year, same gearbox as last year, lots of the same structure underneath as last year. But look a little closer and you'll also see there's some fairly significant differences.
Also Aston Martin ist echt könnte interessant werden.
And you'll see a rather sexy looking bulge in the engine cover, which is hiding some of the...
Ich werde jetzt ein bisschen noch mit euch talken. Ich mache mal kurz die Dualcam rein, dann mache ich wieder Mucke rein und dann können wir ein bisschen talken.